Kainin ko lang tong ano ni Mia, titikman ko ha.
Ganda yata makeup mo ngayon
Ha?
Ganda yata yung makeup mo.
Yung makeup Huwag naman ganun. Ulitin mo, huwag tungkol sa makeup. Pag kinakain, ano ni Mia ka mo yan.
So asawa ko, yung mga viewers ko, they've been demanding for you to sit down and tell your story like how you promised. Gaano ba talaga kahirap ang buhay mo nun? Gaano ba talaga? Like, why don't you share with our viewers kung talagang gaano kayagit yung buhay mo nun?
Mahirap kasi. Maliit pa kami nun, walang parents eh.
Nasaan yung parents mo?
Wala. Si mami nasa Canada. And then, hiwalay sila ni daddy, right? My dad. So, but then I was only 9 years old and had my siblings. We were 4. So just imagine, I was the mom and the dad when we were left.
So wala kayong, there's no parents around?
No, my inang was there for a few years. Pero namatay siya noong 1987. Tapos kami na nun.
So
palipat-lipat kami ng bahay. But, meron kaming tiniran. They were kind enough to build us a shed. Nasa ibabaw kami ng ping-pong table. Ganun kalaking tiniran namin, ping-pong table.
So,
pakita mo yung picture.
So guys, nakita ko dati, pinakita ni Mrs. ko yung tirahan nila. Yung bahay, barong-barong. And meron na nakatira doon, right? Hindi sila magkakasya doon sa loob dahil 4 sila magkakapatid. So yung tita yata nila, what do? They put a ping pong table and used it as a roof. Tapos doon kayo sa ilalim ng ping pong table nakatira, parang ganun, parang bodega, right?
No, the ping pong table was our bed. Was our sala on top of gravel.
On top of gravel, right? So, tanda mo pag nanonood ako ng TV and then they show pictures of street kids sa Pilipinas living under a bridge or mga squatter, ganun. Parang ganun ang buhay mo dati, you said, right?
Oh yeah, tapos palipat-lipat kami. Hindi ko alam pala noon, I was in grade 2 or grade 3. Pinalipat kami dun sa isang teacher na tutulong. I didn't know until recently na-realize ko nakatulong pala ako when I was in grade 2.
Yeah.
Or grade 3.
So talagang mahirap ang buhay nyo dati, right?
Well, we didn't know any difference, so it was normal.
So talagang wala ng parents, tapos wala ng kamag-anak, tapos kayong 4 na lang, ikaw ang pinakamatanda. So you're basically looking after your siblings, and you were 9 years old.
That's why marunong magluto ng tortang talong, pritong talong, ginisang kamatis, saka ginisang bagoong bagoong na brown.
So you experienced eating nothing but rice and asin, you said?
Asin and asin and kalamansi, masarap yun.
Yeah.
Tapos may lapad na mantika, yung ginaganon ng lechon. Tumutulot at sinasahod, binibili yun ng lapad.
Yeah.
Tapos lalagyan mo lang yung kanin, tapos bagong or asin sa kalamansi. Yum.
So since we're on the topic of food, I remember you telling me stories about pagkakain ng itlog.
Oh yeah, itlog.
Can you share that with us?
So yung itlog, pagkakain kami dati, yung isang itlog, it's either divided by 4 or minimum divided by 4. Basta malasahan lang yung kanin. Pag kumain ka ng isang itlog, feel mo napakayaman mo na nun. Remember yung kapatid ko si Charlie Bunso. He said, "Ate, mayaman na tayo. Isang itlog tayo." Sabi niya.
And your father's side, they're not exactly poor. If anything, they're actually wealthy dahil Chinese yung family ng dad mo, right?
They are well off. Naghiwalay yung mami ko at daddy ko.
So bakit hindi kayo nagpaampon sa kanila?
Ayaw ng mami ko. Sabi ni mami, nandito siya. Huwag kayong lalapit doon. Kahit na magdildil kayo ng asin. We ended up dildiling asin. She didn't know. That's how bad it was. But my inang followed her wishes not to go to my dad. Hindi manghingi ng tulong kasi may fried chicken siya.
So really, your father never ever played, father to you guys?
No, I didn't really know him until we went back to Canada, to Toronto in 1994.
Pero, you did have an uncle, kapatid ng dad mo, that reached out from the Chinese family side that actually helped. Not just helped, but actually was there for you guys as a father figure, yes?
Si Uncle Apo yung tumulong sa amin. He was probably 35 years old or 34, but he took responsibility. Siya nagpapadala sa amin, make sure we're okay. So a good, so 87 to 92, 93, 94, he actually took care of us. Financially and emotionally, he was there for all four of us.
So, I'm surprised dahil nung nakilala kita and you told me the story, how everybody left you. There was no support from parents because there was no parents whatsoever that was around. How come you turned out the way you did? Because usually, statistically, mga tao with your background usually does not live a very successful life dahil they've had nobody to show them the way.
Yeah, but I still had my lola, my inang, around my formative years, which was until I was 10. I think she passed away when I was 10.
Okay. So when did you leave the Philippines? Why don't you tell us that story?
So the first time we came to Canada was in 1979, which my youngest brother was born here. And then our stepdad passed away in 82. So dinala kami. My mom shipped us back sa Pilipinas. So that's how we stayed there from 82 to 94. So why marunong magtagalog. So
nandito kayo sa Canada from what year?
From 79 to 82. And then from 82 to 94, we were in the Philippines ng ganung katagal.
So it's really hard for a single mom with 4 kids in Canada, no contacts, no... Like, ano trabaho ni Elsa dati?
Si Elsa dear, si mother. She was working at an insurance company. And then she had 2 extra or part-time job. She was working at Swiss Chalet as a server. And she was also doing courier, so on the side. And also she was doing cleaning ng mga bahay on the side because it's cash, right? Good money. Maraming mga racket dito, cash under the table. So she was doing all of those. Masipag si Elsa.
So just imagine, 4 kayo, and your mom had no husband.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was on her.
Oh, yeah.
And she had all of these jobs just to support, or do her best to support the family, yes?
Yeah. She did a good job. She did her best.
Okay. So, pero dati, even though nasa Canada na kayo, mahirap pa rin ang buhay, right?
Well, we were poor here too when we came because we were living, when we got here, nasa bachelor. Bachelor kami kasi nung dumating kami. Kapatid ko si Samuel. Dumating kami. Pupasok namin galing ng airport na umuwi na kami. Kala niya yung mga door is bedroom. Where's my room? Asan yung room ko? Yung pala mga closet and washroom. It was actually a bachelor's where the living room, bed, and everything is in one spot. Kitchen.
So, there's a total of 5 people in a bachelor's apartment. A bachelor-sized apartment na walang bedroom. So, your mom and 4 children, right?
Yeah.
Doon kayo nagtira.
Mm-hmm. We were there for a few months and then we were able to go to a 2-bedroom.
So how was your life when you returned back to Canada?
Everybody was working part-time. May mga racket-racket na. I had 3 jobs too. Lots of jobs. I had 2 McDonald's jobs. Actually 4. Raba, which is like a grocery store. And then I had kitchen table.
So McDonald's, Raba, and kitchen table.
So McDonald's, kitchen table, and then Raba.
How old were you then?
I was already 20.
So really, mula pa nung bata ka, when you landed in Canada, you already started working.
Oh yeah.
Everybody in your family.
There was any moment that, you're not doing anything back then.
So hindi ka nakatikim ng buhay katulad ng mga anak natin ngayon?
No. Sorry, nagugutom ako.
So that was in your early 20s, right? So why don't you give us why don't you give our viewers a short glimpse of how you started your career?
Career, okay. So bago nun, after nung 95, between 95 to 98, that's the stint of having 3-4 jobs at a time. And then after that, I ended up working at the casino for a year.
Which casino?
Casino Rama.
Okay. Before you started working at the bank, all of the experiences that you gained.
Oh yeah, hang on pala. So in between the casino and starting at the bank, because here in Canada, the good thing is the government take care of us. So if it's in between, you don't have a job, it's either you go on EI or you go on welfare. Now that I have all the experience, ngayon na alam kong lahat yun nandoon, ngayon marami pa rin mga tao na nahihiya na mag-apply ng welfare, EI, sabihin nila, oh, I don't want to do that because, you know, parang my pride. No, take advantage of all the program that the government can offer. If you're entitled for it, take advantage of it. Like welfare, EI, if you have to. Kasi once na nagtrabaho ka, guess what? You can't apply. Hindi mo na magagamit yun unless magkasakit ka or wala kang trabaho, di ba? So yeah, I believe I was on welfare from August of 2000 until December of July of 2001 into December of 2001. That's when I started working at the bank.
Okay, before we do the bank thing, may direction ba buhay mo nung when you were in your early 20s, working those 3 jobs? Like, did you ever think for once na this is where you would end up? Like, ano nasa isip mo when you were working 3 jobs, like almost like 80 hours a week just to make ends meet? And on top of that, sabi mo na welfare ka pa, di ba?
Yeah. Well, I always know I like people. And from work, may mga nagre-recruit sa akin because they see that I'm good with people. People were hiring me to work at their dealership or anything related ng service or sales. But my background from school, when I was working those 3 or 4 jobs, was in sciences.
So did you, like, when we were younger, when you were young, in your early 20s, did you know that this is where you would end up? This profession?
Not necessarily. I thought I was gonna be at least a chemist or medical technologist.
But did you have any hope na, you know, your life would improve from working 3 jobs at minimum wage to where you are right now? Did you ever imagine?
I don't think that was in the, you know.
So you didn't.
Wala sa isip yun. Basta you just wanna improve yourself.
So you were in survival mode, right?
You were survival mode before.
Survival mode.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell our reviewers exactly how you started the bank job?
It's a bank job.
Paano mong nakuha yun? Who introduced you to the bank, and like how did everything start? Because that's what most people are curious about, because you're a career professional and that's what everybody wants to know.
Yeah, working at the bank.
How did you start?
How did I start? So my friend Leah works at Bank of Montreal back in 2000 or 1999. She started way before me. And she told me, hey, they're hiring part-time.
What position did Leah have?
She was a banking advisor already.
So a bank teller.
She was a bank advisor. She does all the banking, GICs, bank openings, everyday banking needs. Okay. Not a teller. Teller is the client advisor. So I ended up working as a client advisor. I was still part-time in school.
So how did you get the job?
I applied for the job, but she referred me.
So who drove you to that job interview?
You did.
Okay, before we go elaborate on that, let's start with the very first time that Leah introduced the idea of working for a bank to you. What did you think? What were you thinking? And where were you in life when Leah introduced the idea to you?
I was on welfare.
Say that again?
I was on welfare.
Say that again.
I was a single mom, welfare, living with my sister. We were there, 1-bedroom apartment in Scarborough.
Okay, so when I met you, way back in like 2000, I believe, okay? Where were you living and why were you embarrassed to show me your place?
Story dyan.
Okay, good one.
No, because we were let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there were 6 of us. 6 of us in the apartment. It's like a lower.
Where was this apartment in Scarborough?
It's at Victoria. It's on Victoria and
Victoria Park and
Victoria
Lawrence.
Park and Lawrence.
So guys, it was a 1-bedroom basement apartment, and there was how many? 7 people?
About 6, 7 people. And then we had a friend. His name is Ross, and the family. They like to yung magtambay din doon.
So sometimes there's about 8 or 9 people.
8 or 9.
So when you finally decided that I'm allowed to come visit you guys, hindi ka na nahihiya sa akin.
Yeah, wala ka nang hiya.
There was 10 people.
Bahala ka sa buhay mo.
Totoo
Basta
yan.
kikikain ka pa, wala ka din palang pera.
So my wife was actually on welfare at that time because she just left Casinorama to start her life back sa Toronto. Doon ko siya nakilala. And at that time, doon sila nakatira. All 7 or 10 of them. So 1-bedroom apartment sa Scarborough. So when Leia introduced the idea of working at a bank, so you obviously applied, yes? Mm-hmm. And who pushed you? Me. Mm-hmm. Who drove?
I had the interview on December 17th.
Who drove you to your interview?
You did.
Who pushed you to your interview?
I got a call back 2 days after, I think, or the day after.
What was the position for?
Client advisor, teller.
So the very, very bottom position at the bank, right? Mm-hmm. Very bottom position. How much were they paying at that time?
I think at that time, well, it was part-time. I think it was $10.75 per hour.
Okay. So everybody starts at the bottom, yes? Mm-hmm. So how many years did you work there?
That branch?
That branch.
Until 2003. So 2 years.
So when did you realize that this is your future? That this is going to be your niche?
I guess when I left, I moved to another branch.
Yeah? So how did you know or did you feel that this is the direction that your life should be going towards?
No, I had a good mentor, and that mentor showed me that there is a career in the bank. You know, you don't have to stay at the branch level. There's other departments that you can work at. But I like dealing with people, so I stayed at the branch. I ended up staying at the branch level for 17 years.
Okay, so from Toronto, you went from that very first Bank of Montreal job. Mm-hmm. Where did you go next?
Scarborough. So I became a banking advisor.
Okay.
Already. And from there, financial advisor and then the branch manager.
So you went from the very bottom positions all the way to the very top.
Yeah, so in terms of...
Why don't you tell us the progression?
The progression?
Yes.
So from 2001 to 2003, client advisor. From 2003 to actually 2014, financial advisor or FSM.
So where were you a financial advisor / FSM?
In Toronto already.
In Toronto, right? So when did you move to Brantford?
2005.
2005. That's when she moved with me. Mm-hmm. Did you have a job?
Did you have a job?
Did you have a job when you moved to Brantford? Yes.
Yeah, I was able to get the transfer right away.
Yes. For what position?
Financial advisor.
Okay. And that was the first BMO in Brantford that you worked at, right? Mm-hmm. And how was that? How did that go?
That was good. Eventually, they wanted me to join the leadership.
But before they asked you to join the leadership team, how did they recognize your skills? How did they recognize that this is the position that we should put you in? Like how good were you as an FSM?
I don't know. People were drawn to me because I know I take care of my clients.
Okay.
You know, I do my best to make sure that their needs are taken care of.
So why don't you tell us about all the awards that you got?
Well, don't forget about those awards. Yeah, the awards are basically, I was competing with Toronto and Vancouver, small town Brantford, but I was able to be on the lineup of best of the best of Bank of Montreal for 12 years straight, and then I became a branch manager.
Can you say that again? Can you repeat that?
12 years. So I was part of the Bank of Montreal's Best of the Best for like 12 years straight. The only time that I didn't go was when I was on mat leave because wala ako dun eh. Then
So
I came back.
basically what you're saying is from the moment you started working in the banking industry as an entry-level teller, every single position that you've held, you've always been the best at it.
Of course, yeah. It goes with sa pinanggalingan natin, di ba? Masipag tayo mga Pilipino and gusto natin pakita na, you know,
So
one of the best.
so when you went from teller to financial services manager,
Kung tutusin, mabagal pa nga ang progression ko eh. If you were to compare that to now and then, nowadays you can make change your role every year or every 6 months if you want to.
so how successful were you as a teller?
As a teller, I was one at the top at the GTA.
Can you elaborate on that?
Top meaning if they say, hey, you need to get a credit card or you need to open bank accounts, well, I'm able to do that at the front and refer to my advisors. I'm able to do that because, you know, they gave us the platform, they gave us the mandate to understand what we need to do at the bank. So why not? I-follow mo lang yun kung anong ano. Tapos kung talagang gusto mo ginagawa mo, it's not really hard because it becomes like, you know, natural.
So after becoming a teller for so many years, you got promoted to become a financial services manager. How successful were you as a financial services manager?
The same thing again. I had good managers that support me. But it all comes down to yourself. Do you like your job? Why are you doing it? Why do you want to do it? Because if you're not happy with what you do, any job naman is miserable, di ba? But I was happy, I was enjoying it. Just you go in, you know, you want to be the best, and then you work hard and smart, and then you'll get there.
So when you got promoted to bank manager, how was that like?
Oh, the branch manager?
Yes.
That was the easy part because every single role at the branch, I live and breathe. So leading the team, managing the team.
So who recognized you? Who recognized your skills?
My regional presidents recognized because they see my scores everywhere. So they thought, if I'm able to do that in my own little office, why can't I share the talent to everybody? Which then led to a promotion.
So did you like being a branch manager?
I did like it. I did not love it because I think I'm more of a doer than managing. I can manage and I can lead. I cannot manage people. I think there's a difference there. I can lead the team because I know how to do each and every job. But managing people is different because hindi mo pwedeng i-control kung anong work ethic ng mga employee mo, di ba?
Okay.
So I struggle with that.
So why don't you tell our viewers how you were able to move from the lowest position in the bank to the highest position in the bank?
It's not the highest position, just the branch.
Well, at the branch level.
Just the branch level.
At the branch level. How did you go from the lowest position to the highest position? Like, how much education do you need? How much drive do you need? What do you need to be recognized by your peers? That way, they can put you in a position where, you know, you can make a difference.
So the drive and grit has to be there. You have to be able to push yourself. You cannot rely on your boss telling you to do this because if you don't want to do it, it's not going to work. In terms of education, there are internal programs that the bank will send you off to study. So that's what I did. Everything was internal because my background was sciences. Biochem ang major ko. Has nothing to do with bank at all.
Okay, but isn't it true what I've been telling our viewers from the very beginning that you and I, just high school?
Your high school. I mean, I did have some university, but you know, life happens.
Did we graduate?
You graduate. I graduated high school. I just didn't finish university.
That's what I mean. We never. Also, really, all we have is on paper is high school.
It is high
We
school.
both attended post-secondary, but we never
Oh, yeah,
finished
you
for many reasons,
Because
right?
you use your money to go to somewhere. But me, no, it was hard life. I couldn't finish. I had to work, right?
Okay,
It was
so
really hard.
so now let's go to the subject that everybody would love to know about. So why would you give up a bank manager position? Why would you give up a bank manager position to move to your current position
Okay.
within the industry?
So
And how hard was it?
how hard was it?
Yes.
I think knowledge-wise, I was always ready to do the role as a mortgage advisor or mortgage specialist. The branch manager role, I had to leave the role because I was not happy. I did like the job. I can go on, retire, and have that role. It's not a bad role. But I was yearning for that. You know, I need to be in front of my customers. I need to be able to take care of the customers directly instead of managing people. I wanted to do the work myself. So there are special people. It takes talent to be a manager. And I don't think I have that. You have to know yourself. You need to know yourself.
What about, let's touch up on the uncertainty of the salary. Because, okay, no big secret. Bank manager salaries range from the low six figures to the mid six figures. So it was a very comfortable living for our family. So going from that type of salary environment to 100% pure uncertainty. So how hard was the switch?
So the transition is easy, but you know, you get stressed because it would be a different type of compensation, right? Like you're used to being compensated on a salary basis. You go to work, you go off sick, you still get paid. So the role that I have is you don't work, you don't eat. You work hard, then you eat. So basically, but the transition enough going to the role, it's my dream role. I've always wanted to do this role. And transferring to that role was, you know, I have all the credentials already.
Okay, so far, the long journey that you've had within the banking industry, within the financial industry, what are the components that one needs to have? What kind of support does one need? What kind of support does a person need to have? What kind of environment does a person need to be in order to be successful based on the journey that you've had?
Oh, you find a mentor anywhere you do, anywhere you go. If you find a good mentor, or if you're lucky enough to find a mentor, do it. Ask for one, because you know it will just make it easier and just learn from them. So my partner here in crime, he does a good job supporting the family. Because when I was going back as a branch manager, the hard part on that was I would be the first person to go in the branch and the last person to go up, right? To come out of the branch. So from 8 a.m. to sometimes 9 or 10 p.m. I'm still there, and guess what? Somebody has to take care of the family, and that's what he did the whole time, is to take care of us. That's why we're able to get here where we are. Dahil sa'yo.
Thank you. So, baby ko, how important is grit, hard work, and having a mentor?
I think of all, grit is very important kasi how bad do you want it? Importante yung goal mo. Bakit mo gusto yung goal mo? And how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to get there? And of course, it takes hard work. You can't just be praying to make it happen, but you know, hard work talaga. Be smart. Focus on what's important. Prioritize on what's important. So sa akin, sa trabaho ko, it gets really busy to the point like, you know, sometimes, you know, I get a lot of time off. I can control that, I can manage that myself. But when it's go time, it's go time. That means there are days, maybe 20 hours a day I would be working. So prioritizing on my side, which means, think about this. This is, I applied this to myself. It's like you were at the hospital. Red zone, yellow zone, and green zone, right? So if you prioritize the red one that's really important, then you focus on that. Because if everything is red and important, then wala ka nang magagawa. Same thing in everything that you do. You write down your goals and anong pinakagusto mong mangyari. So
If you had to compare your life when you were very, very young versus your life now, can you tell us the biggest difference? Laki ka ba talaga sa hirap?
it's not even the hirap, maybe that's that's some nagpahirap nun. It's more of the emotional support, because as a young kid, you don't know the difference between mahirap or may kaya, but you see kids that are well off, but that wasn't even in our minds na mahirap kami, wala kami makain or wala kami matiran. That's all we know. But going back to that is you just learned how to appreciate kung ano yung nangyari before, di ba? And you work even harder to maintain what you have.
So, what is the difference that you can say between back then versus now? And how hard was that journey?
No, hard. The thing is, the journey is, it just happens. But you work hard for it and you had a goal. And you persevere, you non-stop, you want to get there. I didn't know we were going to get here. But I guess someone was watching over us because, we work hard, we're good people. Like right now, we were here, but I always look back. I always, di ko nakakalimutan yung pinanggalikan ko. Pag may nakikita akong, naaawa ako, o naiiyak ako kasi I can feel their pain or suffering. But I need to manage that because, I need to separate myself from feeling their pain or just understanding it instead.
Okay.
But you can't avoid that.
So if there's any advice that you can give to somebody who's starting out, what would it be? Coming from a successful professional like yourself, what advice would you give to somebody young out there that's dreaming and looking up in the stars?
Just stay focused and know what your goals are. Alamin mo muna kung ano talagang gusto mong mangyari sa buhay mo. And set your goals, write it down, have a vision board, how to get there, or what are the things that you need to do. Again, there's stuff everywhere to read, to get some knowledge and wisdom about, how life would be, how to be successful, right? But in terms of our journey, I'm not able to do this without you. So you keep saying, oh, wala ka namang ginawa, wala ka naman. No, it was a team effort. I wouldn't be able to do what I do now if I didn't have you. So it's important to have someone or a partner, a team. Doesn't matter, emotional support, financial support, whatever support that is, it's good to have. So yun lang wish ko sa iba, sana hindi sila mas madali kung may kasama sila. It doesn't matter who it is.
So guys, this is Mrs. Mendoza. That's just a brief story. It actually goes a lot deeper, from Yagit to YOLO. But
Pasensya na nahihiya ako sa
she's actually she actually agreed to sit down. So yeah, hopefully na-inspire kayo kahit konti lang, because everybody starts with the first step. Okay, not everybody starts on the top. Some has to start from the very, 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 very basement. And that's what she did. And yeah, to all of our kabayans out there that are just starting out,
don't lose hope. Nasa Canada na kayo ngayon. Kung nasa Canada na kayo ngayon, ang daming program, like ang daming mo pwedeng pagtanungan.
There's so many resources now, right?
There's so many resources, but if you're not resourceful enough to go for it or look for it, it doesn't matter, it doesn't apply. So learn how to speak up, okay? Learn how to ask.
Remember guys, one philosophy that we always go by, her and I, where effort goes, energy flows. Remember that guys, where effort goes, energy flows. So, sana naman na-entertain kayo kahit konti. This is PuTo Mendoza in Canada, wishing you good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Stay hungry, stay humble, keep your hustle strong, guys. We'll see you on the next video.